views expressed are those of the participants and do not represent an endorsement of any particular position, program, religion, or political affiliation. DFG's Corner is intended to provide information, observations, and entertainment. Guests are encouraged to comment, like, share, or subscribe.
Hey, 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 it's not Fat Albert. It's the man with the golden voice, the lady's choice, and of course, smooth as a Rolls Royce. I'm coming to you live from the 571 where I'm having fun and I'm getting things done. Today, hopefully you like my new introduction, bringing out the team with my D is my default. We're trying to get things done. We're trying to elevate our game, trying to get a little clearer sound. And I'm gonna go around the horn because today it just seems like I'm flying solo. So I'm gonna acknowledge everybody in the Zoom first. I'm gonna say, "Hey, Miss Kim, what do you bring?" And I'm glad you're here and say something.
Hey, hey, hey. Happy to be here. It's another Tuesday, headed to hump day.
All right, all right. And next is the man from the 253. He's also out there in the 206. Hey, and now he's down in the 904. Let's give a shout out. Shout out DJ Dabs. What's going on?
How you doing, man? What's happening?
Hey, that's good. You clock it in, tapping in because
Right, right.
I don't have guests, I have family. And last but not least in the room, I got our resident thespian, Miss Sum Sum. What's going on?
What's going on, everybody? Happy to be here tonight.
All right, now everybody out there in Facebook land, YouTube land, TikTok land, Rumble land, IG land, and all those other lands that we're going live, we're live, and we're gonna bring it to you. Today's topic was brought to me by Miss Kim, and she was talking about, we were talking about some spiritual warfare and things like that. Well, it goes without saying, you have what's in the natural and you have what's in the spiritual. Um, do you look at people and get a good or bad vibe, or if you can you look at somebody and just say, "Nah, I can't mess with them because they got bad juju"? Um, before we go into it, I'm going to play a video that was sent to me, and I also have another one a little later that I made. So hold on.
Trying to get in there.
Tell her
You
she
see the
running
room?
late. She
No.
on that CP.
She tried to get it together.
That's good. Or leave it alone. If you don't want my loving, I'll be gone. Some old heads will know what I'm talking about. Here we go.
These are some spiritual signs you should never ignore. Let's start strong with number one. If you're about to leave your house and you keep forgetting stuff,
You see your glasses real quick?
sit
I
down,
must have left them in the
wait
bathroom.
before you leave. This is your spirit trying to protect you. It's more than likely slowing you down so you don't leave at the wrong time. This could be
Guess you
protecting
guess you can't hear it.
Number two, if you're talking to someone and you suddenly feel a weird feeling or you forget what you're even saying, stop sharing so much. This is a sign you're talking to the wrong person. Change the subject, protect your energy.
Ooh.
Number three, if you have plants in your home and they suddenly die out of nowhere, that plant took negative energy that was meant for you. Think about the last person who you had inside your home. They might not have had good intentions for you. And last, never just let anyone touch your hair. Your hair is your crown. It protects your energy. A person with bad intentions can put negative energy on you through your hair. Protect yourself. Your spirit's always talking to you.
All right. Don't like when I'm in stereo. Cause you hear it on the stereo. But anyway, I know that was a little bit low, but I'm sure you still heard it. So I'm gonna start off with DJ Dabs. DJ Dabs, have you ever dated somebody or been with somebody because of a feeling, a vibe, something about them?
Yeah, I sure have. I
Explain, go
didn't
into
I
it.
didn't hear the video, but I couldn't hear it. But um, I don't know. It's just I think it just seems like it was, we hit it off good. Everything was cool. Um, I mean, it's just like I don't know, I don't know how else to say it. It was just, like it was almost that. I wouldn't say love at first sight, but we just hit it off. We had a good vibe. Everything just, I mean, it was almost connected.
So what, I mean, what was it? Was it the way they walked, the way they talked?
I think it was more the way they act and how they trade themselves.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Um, so with that, have you ever had the opposite feeling? Somebody, whether you're in a relationship or not, just or even family members, they walk in and you're like, oh gosh, I gotta get away from them. I'm not feeling them.
Oh, most definitely. I
Can you
had
give me
that
an
before.
example of that one?
Oh, shoot. Yeah, it'd be some, it's been a family member once before. I haven't seen in a long time, thank goodness. Uh, um, I guess different ex-wife happened to be in a place I was at. Not very excited about that one. Uh, but I mean, I was like, I'm pretty cool about it and everything. So I try not to I try not to be a hater about stuff or people. Just I prefer not to deal with them
That
versus
makes
being a hater.
sense.
Yeah.
That definitely makes sense. So how about you? How about you, Miss Kim? Have you ever had a feeling? You were talking about the other day. Explain how you felt about a person, or somebody told you something about a person.
I don't really go off of what everybody else says. I kind of find out for myself about people. And say, for instance, I'm starting a new job and I'm quiet. I don't say much. And I kind of feel out everybody, that I'm in the room with. And when I get a good feeling towards somebody, I kind of gravitate towards them. But if I get a bad vibe, I'm cordial, but I stay kind of back from them. I don't, I don't, what I can say, I don't like try to build a connection with that person.
Okay.
And then I don't let, for example, what I was telling you earlier, there was a lady I used to work with, and she would always want to say, "Oh, you don't feel good. Can I just pray over you?" I don't let everybody pray over me. I don't let everybody put hands on me because you never know what the spirits they carry within themselves. So I'm a people watcher. I watch how people move.
Oh yeah, definitely got to watch out how people move. Everybody has the spirit of discernment, and a lot of times we don't listen to what our discernment is saying, and we kind of get the hard-headedness and not want to be not we let our lust or our infatuation cloud our feeling about this person. When I was in college, I can say it now and laugh about it, but it wasn't funny when I was going through it. I was a nut magnet. I would find the most brokenest, the most emotionally brokenest women, and they would love the heck out of me. And I was attracted to them, but that was something because of something was broken in myself. So I learned after a while, you gotta pay attention to people. Look at, the word says you will know them by their fruits. Because if they always got a sad sob story every time they coming around you, ain't nothing good, everything's bad, that's a warning sign. That's a warning sign. You got to keep away from those folks. You got to be like, nah, I'm good. You want to ride with me? No, 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 no. I'm good. Chocolate Pearl. I know you got a few stories about people and vibes. Why don't you give us one?
Um, okay, can we, because I was having difficulty getting on today. What was the topic or what?
Today's topic is feelings and vibes. And it deals with relationships. And it doesn't matter whether it's platonic, familial, or romantic. Some people you be around and you get a good vibe, a good feeling off of them. Some people you be around and there's something in your spirit, something stick in your craw, and you just don't want to deal with it. Could you give us a story of one of each?
Uh, yeah, I guess I'm similar to what Kim is. I try to feel people out, but I give everybody the benefit of the doubt until I, can focus on what they're about. One of my ex coworkers at this current job, uh, she seemed very nice, but then I started realizing that the vibe of her wasn't quite there. So I used to talk to Dabs about her, and he would tell me to stay out of it, stay away from that. Don't get involved in that. So I give people the benefit of doubt. I'm not sure if I'm a person who can really first off feel that person's vibe immediately unless it's like blam. Uh, but I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. Mommy at one time, she used to be one of those people like if you ain't like them, she ain't gonna like them. And before she even got to know the person, or she'll um, have an attitude if I didn't feel something for someone else, she automatically didn't like them. But I had to tell her you can't do that because what I feel may not be the same vibe that you get. You know what I mean? So I like what Kim said that you don't go by somebody else. You have to fill them out yourself. But it doesn't take me too long to recognize they vibe, a couple of days hanging around them, I start feeling it. But sometimes if you are blinded at times, you don't see it right away. You know what I mean? I tend to not see it immediately. But if you just automatically blam and let me know your real personality, then I'll learn it. And I try not to judge too much, if
Well,
that makes any
that's
sense.
and that's the thing is that especially with our mother, if she didn't like them, they weren't worth liking because she liked everybody.
Yeah, but when she moved with me, it's like she didn't. If I said, "Oh yeah, that's such and such," but me and them don't get along too well, or I don't like the way they move, she would automatically not like them.
Yeah, I could see that. I
Yeah, so
could see
I
that.
that's one thing I didn't. I kind of was down about how she was when it came to that. I'm like, that because I feel that way doesn't mean that because okay, for instance, um, there's a talkative uh lady at my job. I vibe with her. I actually don't talk as much as she does. I'm really quiet
That's
at
saying that's
work,
saying a lot.
a whole lot. But there's another lady who everybody says is mean, but she doesn't show too much of her meanness around me. So I can't just say, oh, she's mean. I'm not going to deal with her. But everybody else says she's mean. Everybody else don't like her. But I come in and try to make her smile and try to make her laugh and stuff like that. So I'm that type of person. I try not to judge you until I get to know you, but I don't necessarily get to know you as quickly as others. You know what I mean? I
Right,
take my
right.
time to know you. I feel you out. I try to get you on the level that I am so I can actually know the true you. Because eventually your true you is going to come out. And that's in the relationships and everything. You realize later on, okay, this ain't for me.
you know.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I
But
can truly say that.
yeah, but some people, even though they know it's not for me, but because they're so lonely and they want somebody, they still stay with it.
Mm, that's
I have done that before. I've stayed with someone so long that and knowing that we weren't going to make it, or we cared a lot for each other. It's just that we didn't vibe. We didn't like the same things. We didn't do the same things. I like to go and explore and learn new things. And he just wanted to sit and watch TV or, watch football all the time or just chill and do nothing or just go out to eat. That was the biggest thing, was to go out to eat. Oh, that's just saying that you didn't want to cook, to me.
I'm gonna
Or
leave
you
that
didn't want
one.
to eat my cooking,
I'm gonna
some one of
leave that
the.
one alone. I'm gonna
But that's just basically me. If you are lonely enough to just tolerate the situation, you stay in it longer than you should.
But you
Or
sell yourself short when you do that, though.
yeah, you do. You do. But you don't realize it until you find something better that just can exempt what you need. I'm not going to necessarily say what you want, because you could want anything, but that's not necessarily what you need. So that situation allowed me to open my eyes to other things once I let that go. So like I said, I don't judge people. I just try to learn them, but it's up to me to accept what I've learned.
I can't hold you. I judge people. I judge people. I judge people. I judge people. And let me be straight. I try not to prejudge people. But if you continually lie and lie and lie to me, I'm judging you to be a liar, not because something you didn't do, something you did. So
That's a different judging, when I'm saying like
no,
judge
I got you. I got
based off
you.
of someone else,
Right.
or just first sight. Because sometimes they say if they show you who they are, believe them.
Yes.
Sometimes people do not show themselves who they are,
Immediately. Right.
especially
Right.
in a relationship. You get into that relationship, that honeymoon stage, as everybody would say, and then next thing you know, when y'all got comfortable and complacent, that the true person truly comes out. But by that time, it's almost too late.
You have a point. You have a point. I'm just saying though, we all do judge, but it's better to judge off of actions and not prejudge
Right.
off of vibes. Because that's the bad part about vibes. You can have a bad day and then your vibe just be all wrong with that person. And then, you get into misunderstandings, and the misunderstandings
Right.
you ain't, why don't you talk to that person? I don't know, I just don't like it. Then you talk to him, you're like,
Oh,
I
he's
misunderstood you
cool.
that whole time.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Mhm.
That's why I say I judge, but I try not to prejudge. Sometimes you do. We're all human. Miss Apple, the fine young lady from New York City, what's going on?
Hey,
So I know you are your mother's child. I know you got a story about vibes.
well, I usually pick up vibes on a person very quickly, and chocolate, she could tell you. I give a person, I can find out what type of person um is for me from like the first initial conversation. Um, but I would always like try to give them a second chance, and 9 times out of 10, I was right the first time. It's just something that I don't know, it's something in my spirit that can detect if you are if we're gonna mesh well. And I generally get along
Bullshit
with
map
everybody.
meter.
Yeah, yeah, it's strong. It's really strong with me.
But
And
but you know what though? I think in this, I mean, I know I'm saying something that's gender related, but women tend to give a guy a second chance, um, just to make sure it's not them, but it's they thought, and that sometimes a person can recover enough, but most of the time guys, you like, if you screw up, if I'm not feeling you, I don't want nothing to do with you. I
Oh, yeah,
watched.
it's not necessarily for me in my case. It's not necessarily, relationship or getting to know someone in that capacity. Um, it can be a friendship. Like, my daughter has a friend, and I like her mother, and we should be really good friends, but it's something about us, we don't click. So I'm cordial to her, but
Right.
it's not someone that I would hang with. And it's nothing, it's just something about her and something about me that just we don't click. We'll hang out with the girls, but not on our own. I've been invited plenty of places, by her, like, oh, come hang out, let's go do this, let's go do that. She's a pleasant person. She's just not for me. Her vibe is a little off to me. And I come to find out I know what it is. She is she's a man crazy. One of
Man
those.
crazy. You mean she centers men too much.
Yes, yeah, she's very male centric. Thank you. I could not get that out. Very, and that's just not something that is appealing to me in a friendship. I don't want every time we speak, you're telling me about this dude or that dude. There's other things going on in the world. You understand?
Well,
So,
some people want you to be their emotional tampon. That's kind of
and that's another thing. And being that I feel like I have a lot of empath in me, I feel what other people are feeling, and I got to protect my peace and my energy.
yeah.
So people like that you could take in small doses. And then there's some people that I meet and right off the bat, I don't like them. And I'm always right. Not well, I'm gonna say not always. 9 times out of 10 again, I'm right. I I don't like this person. They just it's something about them. The whole aura is off. They have no good intention for you or anyone else. It's just something that I don't know. And then there's some people that I meet that I like immediately. And I don't know why I like them, but it's just something in their spirit just connects with me, and I
And
like them immediately.
right, and that's why I say, the Bible says we don't wage war in the flesh, we wage war in the spirit. And sometimes you just feel that person, you can tell by their fruits. If you know, and us where we grew up, we all know somebody who was a troublemaker, but they were cool people, they were good people, they just couldn't stay out of trouble. And those are the tough ones to be around because you stay around them, you're gonna get in trouble. They just have a pleasant personality and y'all click so much. We all had every one of us had a friend like that. So I can't hold you on that. What I got here is a little script I put together, did an AI thing, and I just want y'all to go and we can talk about that and agree. It's a little long, but I'm gonna let it rock.
The influence of feelings and vibes on relationships. Understanding emotional dynamics and subtle energies in human connections. Introduction. In the intricate dance of human relationships, feelings and vibes, the subtle, often inexplicable energies we sense from others play a profound role. Whether in friendships, romantic partnerships, family bonds, or professional connections, the interplay between our internal emotions and the outward atmosphere we project can strengthen or strain the ties that bind us. They arise in response to our experiences, beliefs, and needs, and can be both conscious and unconscious. Expressing care, appreciation, and empathy encourages reciprocity and deepens bonds. In relationships, feelings such as love, trust, joy, jealousy, anxiety, and anger influence not just how we act, but also how we interpret the actions of others. When anger is suppressed rather than communicated, it may manifest as passive aggression or disengagement. While feelings are deeply personal emotional states, vibes refer to the intuitive sense we get about someone or a situation. Together, they shape the dynamics, health, and longevity of our relationships. When trust is strong, individuals feel safe to be vulnerable and honest. Vibes can be positive, negative, or neutral, and are often sensed subconsciously through body language, tone of voice, facial expressions, and overall demeanor. This can create a virtuous cycle of goodwill and trust. Such vibes can cause discomfort or anxiety, leading people to withdraw or become defensive themselves. Breaches of trust, however, can lead to hurt, suspicion, and distance. The nature of feelings in relationships. Feelings are the emotional undercurrents that flow beneath our interactions. These mixed signals can create confusion and erode trust. Empathic individuals often excel at picking up on unspoken emotional cues, which allows them to respond in ways that soothe, motivate, or heal. However, misreading vibes or projecting one's own anxieties onto neutral situations can create misunderstandings. For example, if someone is genuinely happy and confident, their positive energy is likely to uplift those around them. Conversely, if someone is anxious or distrusting, their body language and tone may transmit unease, prompting similar feelings in others. If left unchecked, they can lead to controlling behaviors or ongoing conflict. Love and affection. Positive feelings create warmth and openness, fostering intimacy and a sense of belonging. Trust. Trust is the bedrock of any meaningful relationship. Addressing misunderstandings early prevents the buildup of negative energy that can poison even the strongest bonds. Emotional awareness allows us to communicate our needs and boundaries effectively. Gestures, eye contact, posture, and even the physical distance between individuals convey powerful messages. Nonverbal cues often reveal true feelings, even when words do not. When both parties are emotionally aware, misunderstandings decrease and conflicts are navigated with greater compassion and clarity. Resentment and anger. Unresolved negative feelings can accumulate and erode relational satisfaction. While this deepens connection, it also means we can absorb negative vibes, sometimes at a cost to our own well-being. Setting boundaries and practicing self-care are essential, particularly in relationships marked by intense emotion. Jealousy and insecurity. These feelings often stem from fear of losing the relationship or not feeling good enough. In groups or partnerships, one person's mood can subtly influence the emotional tone for everyone. This is why spending time with positive, enthusiastic individuals often feels uplifting, while negative energy can be draining. The importance of emotional awareness. Being in tune with our feelings and being able to articulate them is crucial for healthy relationships. Understanding vibes and their impact. While feelings describe our internal emotional states, vibes refer to the outward energy we emit and perceive from others. When partners recognize and address these forces, relationships become opportunities for growth and healing. Positive vibes. When we perceive someone as warm, relaxed, and open, we tend to mirror that energy. Negative vibes, defensive, closed off, or hostile energy is often picked up quickly by others, even without words. Incongruence. Sometimes a person's words may not match their vibe. For instance, saying, "I'm fine," while exuding tension. The subtle art of tuning into vibes. When we understand and honor both our own emotions and the subtle energies we exchange with others, we unlock the power to build connections that are resilient, authentic, and deeply fulfilling. In a world where so much is communicated beyond words, learning to navigate feelings and vibes is not just a social skill. It is the heartbeat of meaningful relationships. Tuning into the emotional atmosphere of a relationship is both an art and a skill. How feelings and vibes interact. Feelings and vibes are deeply interconnected. Our emotional states shape the energy we exude, which in turn influences how others respond to us. Feedback loops in relationships. Relationships often operate as emotional feedback loops. If one person expresses warmth and openness, the other is likely to reciprocate, creating a flow of positive energy. Negative feelings or vibes, if left unaddressed, can spiral into cycles of criticism, defensiveness, or withdrawal. Awareness and intentional effort to shift the emotional climate can break negative cycles and restore harmony. The role of communication. Effective communication is the bridge between feelings and vibes. Sharing feelings honestly, using I statements rather than blame, and actively listening create a safe space for vulnerability. Nonverbal communication. Much of the vibe in a relationship is communicated nonverbally. Emotional contagion. Emotional contagion is the phenomenon where people catch emotions from others. Empathy and its double-edged sword. Empathy allows us to understand and share the feelings of those close to us, challenges and opportunities. Every relationship encounters challenges rooted in feelings and vibes. Stress, life changes, or past traumas can trigger emotional reactions that color our interactions. Growth. Through adversity, facing difficult feelings together can strengthen trust and intimacy. Learning emotional regulation. Individuals who develop skills to manage their own emotions contribute to healthier relational climates. Navigating differences. Understanding that each person has unique emotional triggers and ways of expressing vibes fosters patience and acceptance. Practical tips for nurturing positive feelings and vibes. Practice self-awareness. Regularly check in with yourself about your feelings and the energy you bringing into interactions. Communicate openly. Create space for honest, non-judgmental conversations about emotions and needs. Mind your nonverbal cues. Be intentional about body language and tone, ensuring they match your words. Avoid assumptions. Don't jump to conclusions based on vibes alone. Clarify with gentle questions. Set boundaries. Know when to protect your energy, especially if you're picking up on persistent negative vibes. Foster positivity. Express appreciation, celebrate successes, and bring humor or lightness into the relationship. Conclusion. Feelings and vibes are the invisible threads weaving the fabric of our relationships. The influence of feelings.
I'll stop that right there. I'm going to start. Big Al, welcome to the show, Big Al. What's going on?
Was having some problem with that mute button, but everything is good. I got caught up in a previous conversation, then realized that I was running behind, so I had to drop off. So glad to be here. Wanted to be on at 8:30 when you started, but I'm
It's
here.
understandable. It's understandable. You're a busy man. You're a good man. You're a busy man. I can take. I can. You get it. You get a hall pass. So, um, hearing that presentation, what do you think about feelings and vibes?
You asking me or
Yes.
somebody? Well, feelings, vibes. I think what he said about your ability to communicate as well as nonverbal communication skills impact the way a person receives what you're saying. Uh, and it could be both negative and positive. I mean, you can give out positive vibes, and just by maintaining eye contact and some of the things that you do non-verbally with your hands can be positive or negative. So I think they influence your ability to communicate. It influences how you receive communications from other people. And it's a critical factor in determining how your emotions are, especially in a relationship with a person.
And do you think that also spreads to friends or acquaintances or even family members?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I had a major blowout with a friend who's been a friend for over 40 years. And it was the passive aggressive nature that he was communicating with me. And had we not been on the phone and been in person, it would have probably resulted in me putting hands on him. Uh,
Mm.
and that's a long time relationship. And yet, and this happened back in January. So I haven't heard from him. He exited himself from my life. And so I say, well, if that's the way you want to be, then hell with it. But all of a sudden today, I get a long voicemail saying, well, I'm not sure what happened or why you're mad. Or he was really taking the victim approach. And it really wasn't, he wasn't the victim. And to be quite honest, which I'll go into a little detail. If I'm going into too much detail, then stop me. He back in January wanted me to write a letter for him to Donald Trump to try to get a pardon for something that he did, which he was convicted of. It was a federal offense. He spent time in federal prison. So he wanted me to write him a letter to give to Donald Trump to try to get his conviction thrown out. And I said, I'm not going to do that. I said, you and I have some different political views, and he's a black man, but he has a lot of white friends. And he said, well, my white friends do it. I said, okay, well, if your white friends want to do it, let them go do it. There's nothing I can say to Donald Trump that's going to help you. And that's what perpetuated this. But it's just the way that he approached me and the intonation in his voice. And he called me on the phone and asked me to do it. And I said, no, I'm not willing to do that. That's a bridge too far. So I know I've
Quick
gone
question, Big Al. Was this person, did this person work in Signal Towers when we were there?
Yes.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I didn't know they got out.
Yeah, they're all out. All of them are out.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you said too many stuff. I said, I know who you're talking about. I just had to make sure. And,
Right.
and like you said, he's a nice dude. I was good. I was good with him.
Right.
I was good with him. I was just like, I was surprised when he got hemmed up, but for him to be who he is and be a guy that follows the president,
Right.
it's disappointing in my opinion.
Yes. Yes.
It's disappointing, especially I guess they got what they got, and I hate to
Yes.
say that. They
Yes.
served their time. Let them be that. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I got you out. No, it's a whew. That's a deep one.
Oh
That's definitely a deep one.
yeah.
Like I said, I didn't know they had gotten out because I hadn't seen nor heard of them since their case got adjudicated in 17, 18.
Yeah. Well, they were, all of them were able to get early release based upon their ages, since they were all over 60 years old.
Okay.
So they are, and I never knew that about a federal conviction. If you got 5 years, you served every day of that
Right.
5 years in a federal
Right.
conviction. But they were able to plea bargain or to work some deal where they only served, of the 5 years that each were given, 2.5.
Right. And you know what though? And it goes back to, like I said, it's not only romantic but family, because I'll tell the crowd, if y'all met the person that Big Al's talking about, y'all would not think that he would do stuff like that. Not the way he carried himself, not the way he was around, not in the conversations you had. So yeah, you could be tricked. You could be tricked, but sometimes it's just, you try to have discernment, be friendly to folks, but you ain't got to be their friends.
Yeah, that's like what I said earlier, that you have the honeymoon uh portion, and then when the honeymoon's over, then you start seeing the true person. Y'all got to know that person as a nice guy, and you wouldn't have never thought that the true person would come out and do what they did.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that but a little bit more context to his story. Um, he in the Army, if you stay at one place too long, they call it homesteading. He was a homesteader. So when you homestead like that, when you stay in one place, especially in the military, you get to know your way around things and you get to learn how things work. And when you get to learn how things work, you figure that you might be able to get away with a thing or two. Probably got away with it a little bit and it got a little bit more, because one day, and this is how it was. One day he was in his office. Next day he was gone. It wasn't even. And then you hear the news reports. It was like it was that fast. So yeah, it's hard when you're dealing with folks like that, but it's just that you got to be careful and guard yourself because a lot of fallout just be associated with people who do stuff like that can have you hemmed up. Miss Some, you've done army stuff. Um, have you ever met people or a military spouse who you got a good vibe or a bad vibe from?
I plead the fifth.
No,
No, I'm just
no, this
kidding.
ain't the
I'm just
court.
kidding.
This ain't the court. I want a
I'm just
story. Give me a
kidding.
story.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I think with life in general, I've had a couple of friends. I've gotten burnt a couple of times because I am an open person. I love people and I tend to um look past a lot of things. My mentality is like, that's them, it's not me, that's their vibe, that's what they do. And so I've been burnt several times, but I think, just in listening to the video that you had playing earlier, it's a lot of things that I got from that. I'm just going to go off of my personal experience. Um, I remember when new people would come to the job and they would ask certain questions like, how is it working here and things of that nature. And I remember specifically telling people, you're going to see certain people. They will reveal themselves to you. And after they reveal themselves to you, it's going to be up to you whether you decide to pursue a certain type of relationship or carry on, you know what I mean, and go from there. Now I will say, and please, Kim, forgive me because I'm going to use you as an example. I remember when I first met Kim, and Kim reminded me of my aunt. So right away, I was just blown away the first time I ever saw Kim. But through the time that I've gotten to know Kim, she is just one of the sweetest, loving people that I have ever met. Um,
Oh, thank
she
you.
she makes you, she's one of the people that it and Kim, you're a grown woman. You stand up for yourself. You have the intuition of, I can't even describe it because you're spot on when it comes to people. But she's one of the people that you just love so much, you want to protect. Like, you don't want anybody to, not that anything has ever happened or anything like that, but you just want to protect her because you just love her so much. She's such a sweetie pie. So, but I say all that to say that relationships are earned. They come over time. With anyone, I really tend to take my time because I've gotten burnt in the past. But I do know that um, with Kim, I know that as a woman, I can come to her with things that, especially as a Black woman, things, obstacles, and challenges in my life that I might face. And I know that I can go to her and I know that information is safe. I know God comes before everything. and she reassures that. And so I think with the video, that kind of went into, um, as far as like matching energy, being able to express how you feel, being able to know that it is a safe space. And so over time, getting to know Kim, I know that, you know, what I go to her with, I know it's safe. And I'm hoping that, over time she knows that that's the same with me. But I think, life is hard. I'm a cancer survivor. I don't know if anybody has known that, but life is hard. And when you can find someone to just help you get through the days without judging, that is very uplifting. You just want to hold on to them and you just want to keep them close. So I say all of that to say that it's hard out here, and relationships are earned. They are earned and it takes time. But I had to learn that over the years. I was very naive. I thought everybody was good and kind and, yada, yada, yada. But I have gotten burnt several times. So sorry, Kim.
No, thank you, Summer.
Hey, getting burnt is yeah, I understand what you're saying. I definitely understand what you're saying. So that's what with everything people are talking about and how we're covering this subject, we have to look at it as are we protecting ourselves when we're dealing with folks? Because somebody doesn't have to say anything to you and you can still get a bad vibe about them. Somebody can come near you and your mood changes and they just suck the energy out of you. And there's some people that when you feeling real down and you're like ready to give up, they just come with a encouraging word, and they make themselves available to you. And sometimes that happens, but we got to understand that we're going with the whole thing is that you got to protect your aura, your spirit, your ability to be a good person, because there are people out there that may be a wolf in sheep's clothing, and there may be out there they may sound good and they have those words for those itching ears, but they're not they're not good for you. They might be good to you, but they're definitely not good for you. Whether that's family members, whether that's friends, whether that's acquaintances, whether that's um romantic interest. Sometimes even your children. Even your children can get a bad vibe from somebody and try to bring it to you. And then I know, at least I know one of my siblings, if a person comes with an attitude, or as she used to say, an attitude, um, she's got the neck to correct, and she put them in check. But it's funny, it's funny because if y'all had grown up with us, y'all would have said, those people are all so friendly, but we did keep our distance from certain people. And there were certain vibes that we kind of had you know, our mother instilled in us to be friendly, but you don't necessarily got to be everybody's friend. And like Apple said, cordial, keep things cordial, because don't be the one that, if it's three of y'all, the one out of three is a troublemaker. Don't be the third person. Be one of the first two. But I just want to thank everybody, especially in TikTok land. This is my third straight week of rebroadcasting on TikTok. I'm also on Facebook, IG Live, YouTube Live. If y'all want to come on the Zoom, let me know, and we'll get you on. Just be respectful. Do not act a fool, because I will kick you off and I'll block you. And my block game is good. They used to call me David Robinson back in the day because I'd be blocking everything. Um, But Apple, you know, you remember how when you were younger, and I would tease you about you hanging out with the Spanish chicks, the Spanish girls.
Absolutely.
You know, I knew they took good care of you, but I was just trying to I was just being a big brother and being a pest. I mean, you know, um, the family lived across the hall from us. It said it's like you knew everybody. You knew everybody. Chocolate Pearl thought I knew everybody, but the thing was everybody seemed to know
I
me.
still say that you know everybody to this day. I can go to any state and somebody know you.
They know me. That don't mean I know them. There's a big difference. There's a big difference. But anyway, yeah, it's. I know this was a little deep today, but it came on my spirit, and I just wanted to talk about it and get it out there because we do have things that we do even though we use logic, emotions does play uh, a role in how we interact with folks and how we talk with folks and how we deal with folks. And you got to make sure that nobody comes and tries to steal your joy. Because there are people, like I said, there's people that are professional joy stealers, joy killers. And they will come and mess up your day. And y'all know we all got a friend like that too. Um, but the thing is that protect your peace. That's the key. Oh, oh, that OLD kicking in my back. But anyway, um, I'm gonna I'm gonna segue a little bit. I know we were talking about feelings and vibes, but now here's a question about that. Can music alter your mood? I'm saying, is there a certain type of music
Yes,
that you feel a certain type of way? Go ahead, Pearl.
I was saying yes, they can. It truly can. Alter
Okay.
it can all okay. So for instance, if you want to be romantic, you play a certain song and that gets you in the mood.
What
Um,
song gets you in the mood, Pearl?
it used to be Anita Baker. That's
What?
how I conceive. I wound up conceiving my second child on Anita Baker. Loved anything Anita Baker. And he played Anita Baker all the time.
Well,
But
yeah, I can
that was
see, I
yeah,
can
that
see
was
that.
back then. But however, it music can put you in the mood. Say that you just got dumped. You got plenty of songs plenty songs to keep you in that dump mode, make you feel sorry and oh boo hoo, I done lost my man. Then you got where you just want to celebrate life. You have stuff. You also have where you want to get into the spirit. Like for me, when I'm on my way to work, I play gospel music and it gets me into the spirit. It, just uplifts me and keep me at peace. So when I get to work, any negativity that's around me is blocked because the spirit is there. So yes, music is a total vibe, and it can put you in certain moods or whatever mood you want to be in. They have a song for you. Am I right, Dabs? They can't see you shake your head. They can't see you shake your head.
But I figured Dabs would know because if Dabs DJs, he's got to have that. You got to have that ear for the crowd.
Most definitely.
But that's,
Yeah, so
go ahead. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
even at that, it's because I'm a neo soul kind of a person. So for a minute, it was always I always listened to, well, kind of the same, but it's always neo soul, and it has been for a long time since I was back in the 206. And when I came here to Jacksonville, it changed a little bit. Not that I stopped listening to neo soul, I just stopped listening to it. I got myself my music put me in a different vibe. It just, it wasn't this. I didn't feel it the same. Uh,
It could
and
also be
I,
location And because of different
Well,
people
I think it was
different.
part of it was is my ex, and I think at that time I didn't listen to it the same, and then because I had made several CDs that I had like played religiously, some Jill Scott, D'Angelo, stuff like that, and then I kind of just not had it, and then once I got close to the end of my divorce, it was coming, that vibe came back. That groove. It's funny how, certain places or certain things put you in different moods for different songs or that vibe. It just changes. I
I
think.
bet you was rocking Lenny Williams every night, right? Girl, you know.
Yeah, no, I'm not a Lenny Williams fan. I'm sorry.
So what mood were you in
I think
outside of the neo when you said you wasn't feeling the neo like you used to? What music were you feeling in that moment?
not a lot. That's just it. I didn't listen to a lot. That's nothing. It was just unless I was DJing somewhere, but I didn't like sit in my room and like I used to before, just sitting there and play certain songs, especially certain songs that just kind of made me feel, some kind of way. And most of it was towards somebody who I was dating at the time. So, and then it was kind of like I was dating this person, and then it kind of went away. And then years later, we got back together, and that mood just kind of came back again.
So you were singing that Freddie Jackson, "Rock Me Tonight" for old time's sake.
Yeah, no, no.
You just still trying to
More,
get that, don't you?
it's more like Noel Gruden or what's the other one? Jaheim. That was it right there. Jaheim, and what was the one that
So you put that woman first, and you see how he looked. Too
yeah,
short,
there you go.
Too short be saying the B word, and he looked a lot younger.
Yeah, right.
Well, you make me feel good because now I realize you actually playing your albums around me, so it must be good vibe.
So hopefully you better not have Chocolate Pro. You better not have him playing on Lenny Williams. That's all. That's all I'm gonna say.
No, I guess I don't have. No, never mind. I ain't gonna say that.
But we're coming close to the end of the show. Uh, um, I wish my back was a little better, but it was sucking today. I've been taking a few painkillers, but I made it through another show. Uh, I want to thank everybody who came on tonight, whether you came on Facebook, whether you came on YouTube, whether you came on TikTok, Rumble, Instagram. And before we go, Chocolate Pearl, you got anything?
I just wanted to say this was a good show as usual. I love the fact that you talked about the vibes and everything, and then learning from others and how they react to certain vibes. Thank you for participating, each and every one of you on the panel, and for the ones who are listening on all the different social medias outlets. We appreciate you coming on every week, and I guess we'll see you next week.
And Apple.
Good night, everybody. I don't really have anything to say, but it was a good show. And thank you for joining. See you next week.
All right, now, with all of that, I want to thank everybody. I want to thank Miss Nikki out there in YouTube land, Miss Jackie out there in YouTube land. I want to thank everybody who comes on every week. You're not a guest, your family. When you come to DFG's Corner, grab a drink, grab your favorite beverage, sit down, eat something, drink something. If you do 420, smoke something, chew something. But I'm going to say before I go, said if you can't laugh at yourself, find somebody to laugh at, and y'all be good. On the behalf of myself, DFG, Chocolate Pearl, Apple, and Bean, we want to thank you for watching our show. Please come back, like, share, and subscribe. Peace.